I got my opportunity to ride the 50 dirt bike when everyone was asleep or something, when it was just dusk. It was barely the morning, and or is it dusk in the morning?
Dusk is
when the sun would rise.
Dusk, yes. Dawn when the sun would rise. Right?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you for coming out. Episode 4 of the Luxury and Mayhem podcast. We are in studio. We have the extraordinary Anthony Orozco. We are blessed to have him in the studio with us today, out of his training schedule, to come talk to us a little bit about where he comes from. We want to thank you guys for all of the support. If you haven't already, please go ahead and click the subscribe button down in the corner. Click the notification bell so that you get all of the content that we release, and you don't miss anything, and you don't miss any of these prolific fighters that we're bringing to you. Anthony, what's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
Good. Nice
Good to see you, bro. I've been waiting to get you in. You've been a little busy.
So busy, man. It's training nonstop, two times a day, working 9 to 5. So you work a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. So what do you do? What do you do 9 to 5? I work at an auditing firm.
Wow. Okay.
So I got my degree in accounting, and I applied for one of the big fours right away. Got that job. So I've been working there since I got out of college 2 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Well, man, dude, that's gonna be interesting. We're gonna have to cycle back to that. Let's start at the beginning, though, so the people know exactly what's going on. I know you're from California. I know you're from Murrieta. Talk to me a little bit about growing up in Murrieta. What was that like?
I actually grew up I was born in Escondido.
Okay.
Palomar College or Palomar Hospital.
Palomar Hospital. Shout out Palomar.
Yeah. My parents were born there too.
Okay, so 3 generations, 2 generations coming through Palomar. Awesome.
They had me at 17, so yeah, it's crazy. My parents met in middle school, and they had me like early high school on accident. But then I was born in Palomar, same place they were. We lived with my grandparents a little bit. Okay. And then we eventually, fast forward like 14 years, once it was my time, once I was in middle school, my family was ready to move to Murrieta because it was a safer community.
Yeah, and Murrieta was just blossoming back then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Murrieta's like on the come up. Temecula, Menifee too.
Menifee, yep.
Yeah, it's blowing up. But they decided to move to Murrieta just because it was a better community. And honestly, it was for the better because the sports there were better. And then that led to me like having a higher level of athleticism.
Education and athleticism.
And education. Yeah, can't forget about the education.
So, just from what I knew about Murrieta growing up, we used to hear about it because it was like a 40-minute drive, and that was, back in the days, that was like hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like driving 40 minutes to go anywhere in San Diego was a hell. So there wasn't a lot of stuff up there, like a lot of, the community was just being built, right? So what did you guys do? Like, how did you spend most of your childhood? Like, what did you guys do up there for fun?
When we were in Murrieta, my family was never necessarily like rich or had a lot of money. So what we did was spend a lot of family time like at parks or like when it was baseball season, my dad and I would always be like playing catch, or it was my dad's idea to always like go practice something. My sisters or my younger sister, so I have 2 sisters. Okay. The youngest one, not into sports, but she's the one who's like artistic and just, she's the phenomenon, like the street smarts, she's that one, you know? Okay, got it. And then I have my middle sister, and she's also into sports, but my dad always took us out, and we would always play and have fun. It was just like
So you're the oldest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all 4 years apart, so when I'm 24, the middle one's 20, and the youngest one's 16.
That's a nice little spread, though.
Oh, perfect spread.
Works spread. Yeah. Everybody's got their own little identity, can go through high school on their own. Not have to worry about the other one. That's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, we would just go play at the park, just fun stuff, just having fun, be outside, always enjoying our time together, you know? That's
rare. How old are you now?
24.
24. So I'm in my 40s, so seeing people in your 20s, most of you guys did, gamers, a lot of indoor activities, not really being outside. So that's cool that your parents force you guys to kind of be outside.
My girlfriend and I had a talk yesterday about how she's glad I'm not a gamer boyfriend.
So you don't play any video games at all, or just not?
Not really. I have an Xbox collecting dust, but it's 3 versions ago. It's It's not updated.
You need to go ahead and dust that thing off, take it back to the shop, get some money, about $50 for it.
Yeah, GameStop would screw me for it. Give me a $25 on my investment.
You get a gift card. Yeah. That's about what happened.
But yeah, so my girlfriend's proud that I'm not a gamer guy, and I never really been one. I just like, I'm a sense guy, so I like to go outside. Okay. I like to just focus on the senses, you know?
So, so you said that you spent a lot of time outside. You ride bikes. You mean you guys just kind of
always like?
Because out there, I know a lot of guys had like dune buggies, motorcycles. Like the desert life was really big.
It was always a goal to befriend a guy that had that stuff.
Got it.
Like that was the goal.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we couldn't afford it, but we had also family friends that would take us to Glamis.
Got it.
And we would spend the night in their RV with them and wake up. I got my opportunity to ride the 50 dirt bike when everyone was asleep or something. When it was just dusk, it was barely the morning, and I could. Or is it dusk in the morning?
Dusk is
when the sun would rise.
Dusk, yes. Dawn when the sun would rise. Right?
Yeah. I could finally like go ride on my own, and so it was nice. We had great family friends, and I got to ride those dirt bikes and stuff. But other than that, I also remember stories of like just making fun activities with what we had. Like I used to do karate, so I would get a belt, like one of my old white belts. I would tie it to the back of a bike, and I would have my sister ride the bike, and I would be pulled by a ripstick. On a ripstick, and she would pull me around, and like the ripsticks, how they're like floaty. Yeah. That was one of the most addicting things. I would wake up and be like, "Can we go outside, please, and go do
ripstick me right now,
please pull
sis.
me,
come on,
please pull me."
She's like, "Damn it, dude,
when is it my turn?" Dude, I have scars all over my elbows from just eating it and just like scraping all up.
So you were rough and tough.
Very, very.
How was the academic side of things? Were you a troublemaker? Kind of. I kind of see a little bit of a class clown in you.
I for sure was a class clown. Like once I was a class clown up until college, because once I was basically paying for it, I was like, I'm paying for this. So this is, I'm taking ownership of this shit. But yeah, I was definitely a little class clown. I always got some pink slips and stuff here and there, but I also was, I'd like to say I tested good. Like I was definitely in advanced classes, but once I got in an advanced class, like my freshman year of high school, I got into an advanced class. I tested into it. They put me in it, failed it because I was just not dedicated. I didn't like it. And goofing off.
ADHD at all, you think? You ever
dude, I said the other day, I'm like, I like to say I don't like to like fall into that and say that I have that.
Okay.
So no, I think I could, if I'm ready to focus on some shit, I think I can like narrow my mind and focus on it, but it just has to interest me.
Okay. Makes sense. I'm ADHD. Like
I love scrolling though on TikTok. Trust me.
Yeah, I think that's just part of your generation though. So, okay, so you've got brothers, sisters. Any of them? When did you guys all start martial arts? Like when did that happen? Was that something that your parents got you into as a family, or was it like something one of you took off to and followed? I
was in karate when I was put in karate at like age 4 or 5.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember whose idea it was. I think it was like $250 a month. So expensive as hell.
Man, back then.
Yeah. But we were living with my grandparents, or like they were involved.
Okay.
So I think it might have been just a joint effort. Like, hey, let's put Anthony in this thing where he can go after school, go learn. What do you learn in like karate? Like discipline. You learn how to sit still, how to listen, how to respect an elder, how to like respect
each other,
work with your peers. Yeah. Yes. So just karate was a classic. It was just a great idea. It's a classic thing to put your kids in,
And you did that by yourself? The siblings didn't attend?
Yeah, no. My 2 sisters were not into karate or didn't do any like martial arts. But my parents have always said, you got to find a sport. Like Cassandra, my middle sister, she was in softball. She was in volleyball. She's done. And then the younger sisters even tried tennis just because my mom was like, please just try something. And then once you try something, you can make a decision after that. But I want you to have that culture around you.
Got it.
Because just sitting in your room listening to music is not it.
Learning how to be a part of a team, or even in an individual sport, there's a discipline, and you have to learn technique, and you have to learn foundation, and you have to learn how to pay attention to learn all that, right? So,
absolutely.
So that is good. And you try to push them. If it works, great. If not, then you at least see where they're at. Maybe they're more artists, right? Yeah, I have 3 kids and 1 on the way, as you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my oldest son is a basketball freak. My middle son is not into sports at all, but he's a daredevil. Like we just got an e-bike, and he just took off last night at like 1:00 in the morning and came back home at like 3. And I'm like, the alarm chime went off. I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, yeah, like I didn't even know you left. And he's just dressed in all black. I'm like, bro, we don't live in that kind of neighborhood. You can't be just riding a bike around at 3:00 in the morning dressed in all black. You still look black, so you gotta be careful. But so he's a daredevil. And my youngest, we haven't figured out yet. She's super tall. They're trying to push her into volleyball, but she hasn't really decided if she wants to go that way yet. So
how old is the youngest?
Youngest is 15.
Okay.
So and then we'll have this little guy coming behind, and he's already a troublemaker. He's not even out here yet, and he's already making waves. The doctors. The doctors are always trying to get him to do stuff that he doesn't want to do. So he's fighting everything already. So
that's hilarious.
We're trying to prep for that. So,
and have you had that experience with any of those three? Like you can just tell this is a different pregnancy?
The middle son is probably he was the toughest. But now he's the sweetest. So it's like he flip-flopped. He had his little middle child moment, and then he's like kind of centered in, and he's actually more of the grounded. The oldest one is a little bit more used to being the baby because he was the first, and the baby is used to being the baby because she's the baby right now.
Yeah.
So he's found his way, and he's like trying to like really go out and do things. He's eager to become like an adult, so to speak.
That's awesome to see, though.
It is. I mean, he could just be wanting to sit around the house, so I'm not complaining. Not complaining. Okay, so what did mom and dad do? What did mom and dad do for a living?
My mom is a credit analyst for Puma, and then
I love Puma. Shout out to Puma.
Yeah, dude.
Moms, hook it up.
Yeah,
okay.
I wear Puma and Volcom are like subsidy, or I don't know the word, but
it's a parent company, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get 60% off both. So I'm always rocking Volcom and Puma. I haven't paid full price for a lot of clothes in a while.
Do I got my Pumas on right now? Yep. Shout out Marathon. This is the Nipsey Hussle jump. Yep.
The Nipsey Hussle line.
Yeah, I got all the Nipsey Hussle stuff. Yeah.
Dude, I could.
I wear nothing but Romas, so.
If there's a Tati's line or anything, I got you 60% off.
I appreciate
moving forward.
Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
This interview is going way left right now, but I'm having a great time, man. This is awesome. Okay.
So my mom, to wind that one back, my mom, credit analyst for Puma, she's been doing that for I think like 10 years, but I mean, she had to go get it. She was working at a gas station when she had me, type of thing. Like
17.
And my dad heard that she was pregnant. He rode his bike. This is the story. He rode his bike to Stater Brothers right then and there. That's like a grocery store. And he worked there for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so he worked at Stater Brothers and just moved on.
Moved up the ladder.
Yeah, so became a manager at Stater Bros after 20 years and shit. And yeah, they've always taught me to work hard. Like
your parents are still together, I take it?
They're not.
They're not.
They split up. They split up high school.
In high school. So
yeah,
they did all this, but they still
managed
to do all of that. But obviously it sounds like they have a really good relationship now. I don't want to go too deep.
They were best friends for so long, so it's hard to probably lose that.
Okay.
It's hard to give that up, but I mean, some problems happen, so it's just
problems always happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's good. But it sounds like they were both very committed to you growing up.
Very committed to the kids. Oh my God. Yeah.
Got it. That's awesome. That's all you can ask for from a parent, right? They're only people. They're only humans. So I get that. So okay, so dad worked for Staters. Mom became a credit analyst, and then so you competed in karate for how long?
Competed in karate for
or not competed, just.
So this is funny. I competed in a karate competition was what ended my career in karate. I didn't want to do karate after I lost a karate competition, and karate was at that time. I think I was doing it for 4 years in total. At that time, the 4th year, I finally was like, all right, let's go do like a form competition where you're like doing like solid forms.
Yeah.
And having to like scream and stuff. So I was in a bracket with a bunch of kids that, I mean, didn't have better form than me, but they were like
just had energy.
They had energy, and they were down to like do the ha's and screams.
Yeah.
But I was just like really sensitive to like how I would be perceived, so I didn't like to do that.
Got it.
I was like definitely having good form and stuff, but I just didn't want to scream. And then I realized, okay, I don't know if that's for me.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of weird. This guy's just screaming, which now it's dope. It's an art. But like back then I was like, that's not cool. I don't really fuck with that. So
I can understand. I mean, as a child, you've got everybody watching you, performance anxiety, and then here I am screaming and like, I'm trying to focus on just getting these motions right now. You want me to scream too. Like, that could be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
I get it.
I remember that was the last tournament. I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. I felt like I was just too old for that. Too cool for that, maybe, too.
And so how old were you when that happened?
Probably 8, 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you just took a hiatus from martial arts altogether?
Yes, until freshman year of high school.
Until freshman year of high school?
Wrestling started.
Wrestling starts. So this is the thing I want to know. Yeah. Because I know some wrestlers, but nobody that's ever done it at the level that you have. What motivates a person to say, I want to be a wrestler? Like, what did you look at and see in wrestling that was like, that's the sport out of all the sports that I can participate in high school, that's the one I want?
Such a funny story. I really started wrestling because I didn't make the baseball team.
Second try.
I literally was not allowed to be on the baseball team, so I said, fuck, what can I do?
And what high school did you go to?
Marietta Valley.
Did they have like a super dope baseball team back then?
They had, Marietta was levels above Escondido.
Okay.
Like, I was on an all-star team in Escondido, and then when I played Marietta teams, we got like 99 0'd. Like, so the level was just, I was not used to that level.
Okay.
Tried out as a catcher with all my catcher's gear. Like, I was the all-star, bro, of the community in Escondido. Didn't even make the team.
And the catcher is like, a lot of people don't know, the catcher is like the quarterback of the game. Like, it's one of the most important players on the game. He's the one calling all of the pitches, deciding what's happening where and when. So,
yeah. That's why I loved it, and it was really cool, but I don't know. I guess it just didn't work out. It wasn't in my deck of cards, and, bro, look at me now. So you said,
all right, wrestling's happening at the same time. I'm going to go over here and talk to that coach.
What can I just pick up? Okay. Like, wrestling was something you could just walk onto, you know?
You just wanted to compete.
Yeah, just wanted to do something.
Okay.
Got into wrestling, and you know the story, how it goes for individual sports. Like, once I realized that my effort that I put in would directly reflect, let's do it. Let's see how far I can get here.
It rises and sinks on me.
Constantly getting better because you're constantly making mistakes, and it's your fault, so...
And so starting out as a were you just a natural when you started out?
Yeah, I won league that year, the freshman league for the school. Yeah.
First time ever. No introduction. What division were you wrestling in?
It was just freshman. Oh, I didn't win varsity league.
No, wait class. Sorry.
138.
138. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it just came out 138 phenom.
Yeah. And then my school wasn't very good. Marietta Valley wasn't very good.
We still got love for you, Marietta Valley.
We still got love for
you. You still had Anthony, so
yeah.
that gave you some love.
Hopefully I'm up in their Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah.
I think it will be.
2-time national. We'll get there. Yeah, I believe so.
I see it. So I wasn't enjoying seeing the differences between the team dynamics at this competition school, Vista Marietta, and my school. Like, the team dynamics were better. They had multiple coaches. Their coaches were looking clean. Their coaches had good technique. These kids were pumping out studs.
Got it.
I was a stud amongst scrubs. So I saw that, and I needed some push. One of the coaches was actually reffing at a little tournament one time. So I had a conversation with the Vista Marietta coach. He was like, when are you going to come over to Vista? And I was like, oh, planted to see.
I didn't know I could do that.
Planted that seed. We fucking made it happen, though. Like, my sophomore year made that switch.
Okay.
I was
Just for wrestling?
Just for wrestling.
Okay.
Marietta Valley was 2 minutes away from my house. Vista Marietta, the school that I went to for wrestling, 30 minutes away.
So you were dedicated?
I was dedicated.
Okay.
And we made it happen. Like, I didn't have we weren't wealthy, so I didn't have a car. What we had to do was say, like, my mom had to tell Vista Marietta that I had an aunt that lived all the way over there.
Yep.
She could drop me off.
Friend's address. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
So what had happened was my teammate committed to picking me up. Shout out Ryan Stewart, best friend for life for what he gave me. He took me every day from my house to Vista and then back. Like, awesome.
And he wrestled too?
He wrestled too. He was my teammate. And he basically helped me become who I am.
Now, you guys knew each other outside of school, or did you meet him once you had got there?
we knew each other from middle school, actually. Okay. So he wrestled in middle school. I wasn't interested. But then we ended up crossing paths again. I found out he was on Vista's team. Hey, I don't know you too well right now, but drive me to school every day, would you? And he was down.
And that was you coming off of your freshman year, right? So you left in your sophomore. So they knew that they were getting someone who had some talent. So okay.
But was funny because there was some competition at my weight there. I had lost to, there was the guy, Jacob Cooper, he was the starter, and we were the same age, and I had come in trying to obviously take a spot type of thing. But
he was like, hell no.
Yeah, we wrestled off, and he beat, like, I remember, like, it was a 3-4 match. I could probably recall every match that I've ever wrestled, but it was like the wrestle-offs, the blue and gold, and we were like the two studs, like, of the school, like everyone could tell, but he just edged me out, and he actually in competition has me beat 3-0, which is cool.
And did he have did he wrestle like in middle school? And so he had a little bit more experience.
He had way more experience,
but you were still hanging with him just from natural athletic ability
and talent, but dedication too, you know.
No, that is sick. Okay, so what happened with the high school career? So now you're at Vista. Did you guys just excel there?
So after I competed my sophomore year, I actually competed my sophomore year under Marietta Valley.
Okay.
And then winter break happened, and I switched. So I got half my careers at each school. But I didn't even make it out of league my sophomore year when I was under Marietta Valley, which was pressure to switch. So I didn't make it out of league. Then the next year, just being in a room full of wolves, being in a room full of fucking maniacs.
Savages, yep.
I jumped from not making it out of league to there's 4 tournaments. League is the first one, didn't make it out. Won CIF, then went 2-2 at Masters. So I like became the stud in Southern California.
Yeah,
know?
Instantly.
Yeah, just from being around those wolves.
And do you think just from being around, did any of those other guys go on to, I mean, was the whole school just a powerhouse back then? Did you guys just take the whole division?
We were competing against Temecula Valley. So it was like Temecula Valley Temecula Valley had never lost a duel in the last like 20 years.
Damn.
So what we were trying to do at Vista Marietta was create a team that would fucking finally wipe their record. So it was constant. Like we were always competing against each other. Every tournament we saw, it was murder if we were against them. Like it was high stakes. It was high stakes.
Those rivalries, dude. It drives the competition. It makes everyone better, right? Because you've got a not just a goal to win, but now you've got I got to beat that guy no matter what.
Yeah.
I've got to beat them.
Yep.
And that's the first goal. Beat them, then we'll worry about everything else, right? So that's freaking awesome. Okay.
Their coaching staff was some of the best. Like you've seen persuasive, or you've seen pep talks that are like the most persuasive things on YouTube. Guaranteed the Temecula Valley coaches have that capability. Like when we had 8 guys that were supposed to ranked in state, Temecula Valley had none. When came dual time, finally our senior year when we had all the studs, they had no guys ranked in state. We had 8. The coaches somehow pep talked these guys to come out against the 8 guys and not lose by very big margins. I was supposed to pin my guy type of thing. I only beat him by like 3 points because he just kept it the margins so slim. And it was just phenomenal to see the Temecula Valley coaching staff arm these like average Joes against some warriors and survive. Like it was
strategy, right?
Bro, strategy.
How you align. People don't realize it's not always about natural talent. Sometimes the coaching is very knowing who to put where, when, knowing when to move people in and out, based on that person's strengths or the opponent's strengths or weaknesses, So you can have all the talent in the world and have bad coaching and it's going to be a wrap. Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wrap. And you're just going to be frustrated because you're like, we know we can beat everybody, but we're not. So it's good to have the combination of both. Okay, so your high school career, you were just an absolute demon.
Demon on the mat until we got to like the highest competition. California it's the huge state and there's no states. It's just best of the best in that weight class. Like in Iowa, I think they have multiple divisions. Okay. So there's multiple state champs at one weight, if that makes sense. So there's like, if you cut Iowa in 4, there's 4 different states because there's 4 different.
Got it. Regions?
Yes.
There's regional champs. Okay.
Yes.
Versus California where you're state champ.
Exactly. Period. Exactly. You're the 152-pound
champ. Yeah. I want the whole damn
state.
Don't try to break. Let's the 4 of us wrestle off and figure out who owns Iowa. Fuck that bullshit.
Exactly. That's what I thought they should do.
Yeah, forget that.
It's lame. I wouldn't want to be one of
a shared champ.
One of the champs. I want to be the champ.
Yeah, for sure.
for good reason.
You run to state.
I took eighth at state my senior year. So that was good. I wasn't done though.
Okay.
So then, well, I basically have this like crazy match with this guy who's unranked. He took it to me. A lot of my losses were from me expecting to win and not like showing up to compete. Like the duel against Temecula Valley, we expected to win. We had 8 guys.
Obviously don't like to lose. We've got that part. So the confidence is high.
Yeah, confidence is high because I worked so hard. But yeah, confidence is definitely high. And so this guy just brings it out. I expected to win. He beat me in like some pigtail match. Like we weren't even in the bracket yet or something. Like he was unranked and I was number 4 in the state. And he just came out tough. Got a lucky switch at the end, like a phenomenal switch. We had 3 seconds left and like there's like pictures in my mom's camera roll from her like screenshotting and trying to go up to the refs and like trying to do this, trying to do that. Like, but you know what? I should have destroyed him and I didn't handle it. I left it up. I left it in the ref's hands type of shit. Mm-hmm. So he gave me that L at state. And then I wrestled another guy. Dude, my second loss at state, because it's a two loss tournament.
Okay, double elimination.
Yeah, unless you're like far enough, then you can lose the third time, which I lost in the 8th place match. But the second match that I lost at state was against a guy that I had majored the week before at the Masters tournament, which is like a qualifier for state. So I went in thinking I was going to beat him again, but he came in amped with a good strategy probably and fucking took it to me. So now I don't underestimate. I train the same for everybody, and
you're still learning that you can't get by just on ability alone.
Yeah, no.
Got to come in with an IQ. Mm-hmm. Because people are preparing for you.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're not preparing for them. So you're like, okay, lesson learned. So you get out of high school, you end up getting a college offer.
I was in talks with a few colleges. I was in talks with a few colleges at that state tournament leading into it, and then lost a few of those offers with my performance. So I was actually sitting in some fucking, I don't even know the saying, sitting like a duck in stale water. I don't know. I had nowhere to go. Stagnant.
Yeah.
And then thank God this coach, Thomas Williams, had like just, I don't know, seen me wrestle maybe at state. I don't remember that story, but we ended up connecting, and he was living in Kansas at Benedictine College.
Okay.
He hit me up when he came down to California. He said, "Hey, can I come meet you?" And I was like, "What? Come meet me?" Like, that's dope. Yeah. It's super sick quality. Like, you want to come meet the person that you want? Let's fucking do it. He comes, meets me, says he could take care of me. My mom's like the businesswoman. She's like the manager in the back.
Oh, yeah, she's like, wait a minute now. Yeah, we talking about housing. We talking about what kind of food plan we going on.
Literally, she's she comes in just mamager mode, and I love it for me. She's the best. But yeah, she made sure I was taken care of because she knew what the situation was. Like that at that time, my parents had split. She knew like I don't want Anthony to have all that type of debt. She took care of me, and they made it happen. And then I went to Benedictine. Went to Benedictine. My freshman year of college was a great career. I worked with Thomas Williams day in and day out.
And where is Benedictine?
Kansas.
Yeah,
right on the bluff. It's a dope school. It's a Catholic college, so they have old like historian style like buildings. Okay. Like really tall and sharp points.
Yeah.
And it's on the bluff. Like it's a big fucking mountain. And under the bluff is the Missouri River.
Oh, that must be gorgeous.
It's on the bluff, and there's a bunch of these sharp, pointy fucking buildings.
Just picturesque.
Gorgeous. Has seasons, has the greens, has the oranges, has the whites, has the...
Yeah, it's Kansas. Kansas is a gorgeous country, especially all the way out there.
Yeah.
So you left. Did you stay at Benedictine? You left Benedictine after your freshman year?
Yeah, some bullshit happened with the athletic director and him.
Okay.
I think over Facebook, some Facebook beef. Like political Facebook shit.
Facebook.
Athletic director has the ability to say, "Don't like you. You're off my squad."
For sure. For sure.
Did that.
AD's got all the power.
He had some comments about the team. Like I took it personal too because he said the team should be doing better, and I had just placed like at my freshman year as a true freshman, I took 4th in the nation.
Come on, man.
Yeah. I was
well, maybe he was holding the rest of the team accountable to what your performance. He's like, look, we got one. Yeah. We need more than one.
True.
Like, you know what I mean? So,
True.
So you might have been the one to screw it up for everybody.
I'm telling you, bro. But those guys didn't want to work as hard. No, I'm just kidding. No, they didn't.
He said, there's no iron team, but there sure is a me. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing great. So I was doing fine. Okay, so decided to leave because coach left?
My coach, I was loyal to that guy. He came and visited me. We made this great bond, and I was just loyal to Thomas Williams. I wasn't loyal to Benedictine.
Okay.
So he didn't get a new job as a wrestling coach anywhere else. I was just a free agent kind of thing.
At that point,
I remember when he called me and told me, I know exactly where I was. And just because it was so heavy on me, I was pissed because I was like, I had a storage unit out there, bro. I was ready to go. Mm-hmm. Kansas round 2, I'm fucking ready to become a national champ. But Thomas had to end, so I went to Menlo College in the Bay.
Okay.
And that's where I also flourished. I mean, I went there for the following 3 years.
So why Menlo?
Menlo
that's not anywhere near Marietta.
No, it's not. Menlo was in this. It just looked. I mean, on paper, it's in the Silicon Valley. Mm-hmm. It's in a cool city, San Francisco.
Got the redwoods on one side, the bay on the other. Yeah.
It's near that city, San Francisco. It's gorgeous. A lot of cash.
So were you shopping yourself around, or did they reach out to you?
They had reached out to me, but I had gone to Indiana Tech. I had visited Indiana Tech because I was in engineering. At Benedictine. So I wanted to go to an engineering school mostly. Went to visit Indiana Tech. Didn't really vibe with it. Visited Lindsey Wilson, which was another powerhouse school.
Small school, but well known.
Yeah. And then went to visited Menlo, and the Menlo coach Joey Martinez. I just felt different. Like, we have this similar past. We like kind of look the same. We got brown hair. We're fucking homies. You know, it just felt like a clan. Good connection. So I went there. He was taking care of me. He fucking offered to like fly me out. He also offered the first visit. He knew what he was doing. He said, "Fuck it, like, oh, the flight's not gonna work, so I'm gonna rent a car and we'll just drive you down." Me and the assistant coach. Wow. They drove us down from the Bay to Marietta. So that just right there like showed to me like he's
gonna put the time in.
Mm-hmm. He valued me, and then after that I was like, oh, this is a relationship I need. Like, if I need a coach versus if it's a coach athlete relationship.
Got it.
That's how I do. I want someone who I feel like close to, so that they can, like, I just felt close to him, so I felt like he could tell me. I think
it's a little bit better taking criticism from somebody you respect, right? You know,
absolutely.
And that you admire, and you can say, hey, I can relate to this person. I know that they're really working out for me right now. It's not about them. It's not about the program. You know, it's about just me and him right now, and it's genuine.
Yeah.
You're going to perform for that person, right? Mm-hmm. You want to perform for that person. So.
Yeah, he kept me accountable the most. That's absolutely. I remember it was like mature conversations always when we were talking to, like, it would be like a mature conversation we had about me moving up a weight, and it was just always like him and I working together at the drawing board, you know, like staying late and like drilling stuff and like
trying to figure
critiquing a little bit and then saying, oh, this might. Yeah, and I really enjoyed the strategy that he brought to it too. Like, we would strategize for some of these guys. That's
that preparation we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. So it was.
He taught you how to prep.
Yeah.
To nurture the athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, so 3 years there. Talk to me about that career. You end up becoming 2 times national champion. 2 times, not once, twice. So even when they knew he was coming, they couldn't stop him the second time. So talk to me about that.
That's the toughest part.
So what was the road to the first national championship like?
So the first national championship was junior year.
Okay.
The reason I became a national champ was actually because I lost sophomore year.
You had some of your biggest comebacks on losses.
Yeah.
Losses. Okay.
Yeah. All
right. So you took a loss to sophomore year, come back.
I was supposed to fucking win that title sophomore year, bro. Supposed to win it. But I lose in this. Wait. Oh, I lose in the semis my sophomore year to Lucas Lavorne, this guy who transferred, and
he remembers every name. Every person he's ever lost to.
I lost to Lucas Lavorne earlier in that season. We went to the drawing board. game plan for him. I couldn't take him down in that first tournament. I went with him. Then at nationals, my game plan works. I ended up taking him down, making some corrections, some adjustments, take him down, ride him out. Now it's like 2-0. And then we're for some fucking reason, like, we were afraid to go on bottom because he was really good on top.
Okay.
But I was good at bottom. Like, I could get out on everybody in the room. Like, we shouldn't have been not confident.
Okay.
So we decided to stand up we decided to do a neutral instead of, like, me go under him.
Okay.
Which is just, it was a mistake. And it was me not being confident. So it's another lesson I got to remember. But Lucas Lavorne handed me that fucking L in the semis. After, in that match, I was hyped because I had worked on something and executed. Okay. But, like, there was just so many highs and lows in that one match. I remember, like, sitting outside. Nationals, my sophomore year, was in Iowa. Oh. I remember sitting outside in the ice cold, like, in the snow, like, dry heaving, like, crying. I fucking couldn't stand that I lost this kid again.
And broken. I'm sure at that point you also were like, this is never going to happen again.
Wait till next year,
bro. This is never going to, I'm outside in the damn cold, crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, okay, Lucas, I'm coming for you, bro.
I wish I could fucking hand it to him right now, but
I
get mad.
Right now.
I get
Lucas,
so
if
mad.
you out there, bro, we can make that happen.
Let's do a super fight, bro.
He's still got some get back. If you still competing, we might have to make that happen. Okay, so you're coming back with a vengeance. You are like never again. So but that's still you did amazing your freshman year. You come back your sophomore year, you literally lose in the semis for national. Mm-hmm. Now you're on your third attempt as a junior. You've learned some lessons. What happens in this third time?
So the third time.
What does it take to win nationals anyway? I mean, does that mean you go undefeated? Like how many matches are you winning?
So for college, it's placing tournament and then nationals. So you have to win top 3 at the placing tournament to get your position in nationals. Okay. I fucking ran through the regional tournament always. Okay. Nobody's gonna beat me in my fucking my town, my area of the United States. And then it was time for nationals. You pull up at nationals. It's a 32-man bracket. Okay. 5 matches if you have the first match. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have a bye, so I usually had a bye. My junior year was a terror. I was on a mission. No one would deny me. Of all 5 matches, I majored or teched or pinned all of them. Ooh. So major is above 8 points, like score more than 8 points by them. First 2 guys, I pinned my first guy, teched my next 2 guys. No, pin, 3 techs. Technical is mercy rule. Ooh. I mercy ruled 3 men that were my same weight and wanted the same thing I wanted.
Okay, all right.
And then majored the guy in the finals, the second best in the fucking nation.
So there's no denying.
10-0, though. He didn't score a point on me.
You wanted to make sure that everybody in the damn country knew, like, nah, I'm the best at this weight class. There's no...
I got OW, outstanding wrestler, because they saw what it was in me.
Ow.
Ouchie.
Damn.
What are you going to do? Nothing. They couldn't do anything.
So the next year is your senior year. Obviously, you're 2 times. So, I mean, did you just run through a night? Was everybody just scared the following year?
A lot of times, like... It's really funny watching those guys. They're not grown men. Like, we weren't grown men. We're 19 to 23, but we're damn near. But you could really see, like, how fearful they were, a lot of them. Like, I won a lot of matches before even starting.
Oh, yeah, mentally.
And it was also, like, a confidence thing. Like, I carried myself like I fucking, like, my shit didn't
Still do.
Yeah.
I still do.
Just because I know it does so much. It does wonders, you know? Like, and when an opponent is carrying himself like that, I know how it makes me feel. So it's like, it's valuable, you know, to like exude that confidence. So most of my first 3 matches at my senior year, pretty much won by before I even stepped on the line. My semis match though, this was remember Temecula Valley in high school? The best, like that coach had the best like pep talks and like gave them the best strategies. Okay. The best school in the nation was Grandview. I was wrestling a Grandview kid in the semis. Ooh. So these people have 8 coaches at a time. They have media. They have this and that. They have footage. They have legit footage on me from the last tournament because they probably had scouts fucking there. I remember being in that match, going into it. I was obviously expecting to win and shit because no one was gonna deny me. But this guy was so pumped and ready to go.
He was ready. He's like, I know everything you're about to do.
He knew everything. I remember being in the match the first few minutes, and he's like, what's his fucking name? Basically, the coach was saying, tie up that left hand, because I do all my leg work off of my left hand. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, they're not coming to play. I realized how, like, the strategies they were up on me completely. They were up on me if we're talking about strategy.
Literally in the midst of the match because all your normal techniques are not going to work right now.
Thankfully, like, he took me down first. I ended up getting a reversal, so it's tied. Then it ended up being like I get an escape and then one more takedown. But thankfully, like, their strategy was working, but I kind of made him tired. Basically, He essentially didn't have the gas tank that I had, so I ended up getting that last takedown in like the last minute, but secured the win in the last takedown. Thank God I had worked so hard that season to have my conditioning up because it would have been terrible to lose by strategy again.
For sure, especially the 8 coaches. Damn, dude, like you guys are bringing the whole damn kitchen sink.
They did not play.
Was the guy in the finals was just a breeze?
Majored. Yeah.
Majored him.
No, did not score.
So the coaching came down to the coaching and their preparation. Man, this preparation.
I love reflecting, dude. This is so funny because like there's so much consistency here. Like I lose or I'm close to losing off of strats a lot of the time. So that's funny. Yeah.
This is good to know. Now
it's good to reflect.
So you're coming out of wrestling. You got a degree. You graduated. Okay. So there's really no path for wrestlers outside of the Olympics.
Yep. No.
So what happens after that? I mean, you've got all this notoriety. You know, you're the 2-time national champ. What do you get to do from there? What's the next step? Just 9 to 5 it now?
Yeah, I had my job secured. I had my career secured already.
Okay.
So I was looking to take an 8-month hiatus again, just because college wrestling seasons are grueling. Like 8 practices a fucking week. Like, not fun for so long too. And it was just a job. And I was doing school. So I wanted to take a break. I ended up, COVID happened and it just got dicey there. I didn't have a gym to like practice at. So it was a good timing. I got that break. But then I moved back to San Diego like at the end of COVID and I was just unfulfilled, like working.
Okay.
I was so unfulfilled. So then I was like, I'm going to start jiu-jitsu. And I went to my like nearest
Why jiu-jitsu? Because it's close to wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like,
did you have anybody with jiu-jitsu or did you kind of do some homework? You can just start it now. Did you do some homework on it and be like, I think I'm going to go do this? Or was it like, did you have some friends or something?
Checkmate Marietta. That's where I started. I think I had a friend that would like to start with me.
Okay.
So we started together. Idris Omar, that's my buddy that I'm always with. But we were living in Marietta. We wanted something to do, an outlet. He wrestled too, so it was just like, let's sync up, go to jiu-jitsu. Let's fucking handle that.
We can still compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can compete as adults and stuff. Okay. Makes sense.
I was doing jiu-jitsu every day. I ended up that was for like 6 months. I ended up jumping into a black belt tournament and then ended up beating, I won some black belt tournament and I was like, man, this is fucking lame. Like, I'm tired of, I don't want to beat people off. Like, I don't want to beat guys off of my wrestling. You come from another
planet, bro. Can we check? I mean, we got to check your birth records, bro. You just jumping in.
I am 12. No.
He's like just jumping into black belt tournaments, kicking. Okay, so you're pissing people off now.
For sure, yeah. So it was time to just time to get like a higher level of competition. Okay. And I knew like jiu-jitsu, basically I took jiu-jitsu over with my wrestling. Like now I wanted to see something in addition to so mixed martial arts is so many more arts. I'm like, let's see how it fares in MMA. Actually, a year ago, I made my debut, my MMA debut.
Epic 47.
Yeah.
Now, that is a very interesting story. Again, this guy, the only way this guy knows how to swim is by throwing himself into the deep water. He doesn't know any other way. So you leave jiu-jitsu and start training MMA on your own, I imagine, or did you have a gym at that? No gym at that point?
On October 1st last year, I signed up for Epic because I was taught. Okay, so
wait a minute though. We just can't skip to the signing of Epic. You were in jiu-jitsu. Epic is not a jiu-jitsu tournament. This is a martial arts promotion, a mixed martial arts promotion. So, how did you even find out about Epic?
How did I find out? I think I just put myself on Camo.
So you register for Camo?
Yeah, I think I registered
Camo
for
is the body that organizes all of the amateur MMA fighters in California. So if you're fighting amateur in California, you have to fight through Camo. They are the record keepers, and they are who your fights have to be registered with before you can go pro.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just signed up with Camo, which is free to do.
Yeah. I finally was over telling people I'm interested in MMA. So with no gym, on October 1st, I said,
No gym.
I hadn't done a striking class or anything. I just knew I needed some fucking, you know how procrastination works? Like, once the deadline's coming up, now I'm going to work. So I signed up for Epic 47 on October 1st, knowing that I hadn't had any practices. And that's what drove me to go to practice every day for those 30 days until Epic 47.
So you did it backwards. You signed up. You signed up for the competition to go fight someone that's got training and a gym, and then said, you know what? I'm going to sign up first. Then I'll go find a gym.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start. Then I'm going to learn how to actually throw a punch because up to this point I've been on the ground my entire career. Mm-hmm. Any fighting experience? I mean, were you a fighter on the streets? Fighter with growing up?
Nah, none. I wish I had a story where I was like, my brothers were telling me to fight these little homeless kids.
He's like, I had two younger sisters. That's
I had never had an outlet like that. So
okay, so you sign up for Epic 47, which I was at, by the way. So you sign up for Epic 47, and how do you find a gym?
I was like, oh, this place has a free trial. So does this place. So does this place. So does this place. 4 places with a week trial. I was like, fuck it.
I'll go learn 4 weeks of free trials. I'll get 4 weeks of training at least.
I got 4 weeks of training in at different places like Victory. I tried Arena. That's the gym I'm at, but they don't do like a free thing. I went to Legion.
Wow, okay. So you had some pretty big names.
So I jumped to different places, yeah.
Okay.
Got my free trainings in. And
that's it?
Yeah, so that's why I didn't have.
You went into your first competition with 4 weeks of total MMA training. Total.
Yeah. Oh, right. You know what's funny? Jonathan Wilson, you know how he teaches?
Hey, Jonathan, we had him on. He was our first episode.
He was at Victory teaching a class. He taught me like my first MMA class. Like he was the leader of my first MMA class.
Wow. Shout out, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then what's funny is he wasn't doing it. He wasn't, I don't think, competing.
At that time.
He saw this fucking random kid, Anthony, who jumped in.
He's like, I'm going in.
Making waves. And then he's like, what the fuck am I doing?
I'm the one that trained him. I gave him his first training. I must be doing something right.
I swear I have a big part. I haven't talked to him about it, but I swear I have a big part in him like finally getting back into it.
That's awesome. That's cool. Which I'm gonna touch base with him after his next fight. We're gonna touch base. Dope. Okay, so you jump in 4 weeks of training with no prior experience, and what happens?
Smash, brother. I smashed, brother. No, yeah, I definitely fucked the guy that I
first round win, I believe, right?
That was the second round win. Idris was the second round.
Okay.
But took him to the ground. Basically, you knew I was gonna win from the first round, so I think that's why.
Yeah,
you remember it like that.
You've got 4 TKOs or 3 TKOs, 2 submissions, I think. Oh no, 4 TKOs, 2 submissions, one decision. Yep. Okay, so yeah, 4 TKOs, 2 submissions, and 1. So he's only left 1 fight in his entire career, which he is now 7-0. Mm-hmm. You heard that correctly. He has not lost a fight in his amateur career. And keep in mind, his first fight was with no training, no gym. Mm-hmm. So I should just kind of put you guys understand what kind of phenom that you're dealing with here. So, okay, now you win the first fight. Now, I mean, you got some people that are looking at you now.
Yeah, that's when Chuck Martinez and Vince. I actually don't know Vince's last name. That's when the arena coaches came up to me and were like, "Where the fuck do you train out of?" And I was like,
"Home."
These 4 different places. He's like, and I'm like, I actually don't train out of the arena because you fuckers didn't let me do that first trial.
I tried.
But he basically like recruited me there, and he was like, "Bro, come over to the arena for free." And I'm all about free, so I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I've been training at the arena under Vince and Chuck ever since.
And we just lost Chuck he moved to the East Coast, unfortunately. Yeah. But he's doing his thing. Shout out to Coach Chuck. Okay, so the arena is home. How is training out of the arena? They are one of the powerhouses in San Diego, obviously. They have a ton of talent. Bobby Winther, yourself, I think, are the 2 major fight prodigies that they're working on at this time, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bro, we every day in and day out, we like pull up, we try and bounce ideas off of each other. We work hard. I'm like in charge of the wrestling aspect. We got Bobby on jiu-jitsu. We got some other guys. Like Alex is the greatest striker in the room. We got just a lot of people have great strengths there. Mm-hmm. So we're always like able to work off of each other, and Coach Vince is like one of the best striking coaches I've ever had. And then Chuck was like a phenomenal strategist.
Yeah.
So like we've had
combinations, footwork, feints. Yeah.
You've seen his dynamic striking videos. It's fucking crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's
amazing.
Levels over my head. I could only hope to be that. But dude, when you see his phone, like one time he showed me his phone, like how he ideated. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like his instructionals, he had a bubble here, and then it had 5 different branches, and then a few branches off that, and then more branches, and like he just had an answer for everything. Like you end up here after I show you this move, you got this, you got this, you got this. Just a blueprint.
Just a blueprint with different options, right?
If you can execute this,
yeah,
dude, you're in.
You're in, and that's clearly working.
7 times, 6 times under them.
So let's talk about the 7-0 win. When I originally contacted you about being on the podcast, and you agreed, I wrote back and I said, hey, do you have any belts or titles and stuff to bring in? And you were like, your tone, you were like, no, I don't have any current titles or anything right now. Like, I'm going to go compete. So if you want to wait to do the interview, I'm like, no, that's good. I'm like, so just so you guys know, if you go to Tapology, which is the primary source to find out any information on a current a current fighter in the United States, pretty much anywhere, Anthony is ranked number 1 in California. He's ranked number 1 in the U.S. West region. He's ranked number 1 in Mexico. He's ranked
so funny.
He's ranked number 1 in Latin America. So out of 787 middleweights, you're looking at the number 1 pound for pound best middleweight in the Western Hemisphere as he sits. So for him to say, I don't have any titles, it just shows you how humble of a fighter you are, because you're not even aware of it. Did you even know that you were number 1? Does anyone even told you that?
No, I didn't really know that. Is that the ranking system?
Yes. As of yesterday.
I just figure it's not even the end goal. So I'm just ready to go.
What do you mean it's not? It's all that's left. You can't beat yourself. You're number 1.
Yeah, true.
You got to take over the rest of the United States.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the Western region and all of South America, you're number 1, bro. Yeah. You're coming off of your a phenomenal win in IMMAF, which is the International Mixed Martial Arts Association Federation. I can't remember the name, but that is the governing body for the international MMA circuit. And you went down to the Pan Am Games down in Mexico, correct?
Yeah. So
you won that, which made you the 2022 Pan Am champion to add to his belt. So talk to me about that, because I know that was a very unique set of fights just to win that championship. Talk to me about that.
It was crazy being like all my fights leading up to that tournament were in my backyard at fucking Epic, the 4 Point Sheridan. Also, shout out Epic. Epic's got me started. They're cool.
Yeah, shout out Epic. We keep the banner on the wall. We love them.
Yeah. I had always fought in my backyard. It was time to go to Pan Am's. I'm like, what? I'm going to a different country for this shit?
What made you decide to go to Pan Am's?
I just thought it'd be a cool opportunity, like to fight international. And then I knew there was an opportunity after Pan Am's to fight at Worlds. Which is in January.
Where?
Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I was finally getting to go, and I've never competed internationally. It's like, fuck it, let's go.
Let's go see what it's all about.
Let's go fight some Mexicans. And I went to Mexico. 3-day tournament. So you fight each day. You fight once a day for 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, quarterfinals, semifinals.
No preparation. You don't even know who you're fighting.
No, I looked up these names and I couldn't even see anything about. I didn't know anything about them.
No history, nothing online.
No. Eventually, I come to find out through like a Twitter account, like that's giving live updates, like their records and shit. And like I was beating guys that were like 3-1, and like the last guy was like 5-0, and undefeated.
He was good.
Undefeated kickboxer. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how are they gonna withhold that from me? So, yeah, these guys. Right
before you get in.
That fool was famous too, Emiliano.
Yeah, I know.
Gordo or something.
Yeah.
Like he had like 50,000 followers on Instagram. I was like, damn, that's pretty sick.
No, yeah, I watched that fight.
Handed him that L.
Yeah, you sure did. That was a pretty decisive win too.
Yeah. So 3 fights, 3 days, and yeah, it was actually my first fight. My first day finished in the first round. Second fight finished in the second round, and then gradually. It's just gradually, yeah.
What was it like going the distance? Was that different for you? Did that really test you? Did you feel like you were prepared to go the distance for that for the championship?
I was definitely tired after, and I think maybe my nutrition down there had to do with it. Okay. It's kind of hard to keep all my great. It's kind of hard to have great nutrition while I was down there. We were eating like fucking street tacos. Like, yeah. I was actually
tasty,
really
but
tasty.
not very productive.
Yeah. So it was. I think that might have had something to do with it. Maybe I could have conditioned a little more. I just never expected to go to the distance with anybody. Honestly. So
how did you feel though? Do you feel like you're built for it? Do you feel like you were ready for it when you had to go?
Yeah, I can always dig deep and pull the dog out.
Just got it in there.
Yeah, I was not going to be denied, honestly.
So how do you deal with now being number one? How do you deal with that pressure? Like, how does that affect your game plan going forward?
I don't know. I don't think about being number one, honestly. I just go in. I really just want the best competition because in the long run, I'm just trying to be a UFC champ. Like, okay, I'm not there yet, so it's fucking like, let's get the best amateurs we can right now. That's why Worlds is so valuable to me, because I get to fight the best amateurs right now. It's probably all of us, like all of the best amateurs probably should be pro. Like eventually, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to see those best guys.
And see how you stack up.
And see how I stack up for essentially free, because once I'm pro, it's 0-0. It's wiped out. So if I lose at this world tournament to the best guy, the best amateur in the world, I'll get you next time. I'll get you when I'm 0-0 and when it really counts.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't count now at all. So I think I don't really pay attention to the number one just because it's not the end goal.
Okay.
But when I was ranked number one wrestling, I also didn't pay attention. Like I don't think that's the goal for me. It's just like competing against the best guys and like stacking against them, seeing how I stack.
So it's just more about your personal achievements.
Yeah.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Got it. And so the end goal is you want to go UFC? I mean, you wrestled at 138. You're now fighting at what weight?
185.
185. So middleweight. When did you start to stack on the weight? Was that something that you did strategically?
I jumped weight. So throughout the 8 year, my freshman year, I weighed 138, and then I ended at 184. So my freshman year of high school, 138. Senior year of college, 184.
So just naturally.
Yeah, I just naturally jumped levels. Okay. My college career, though, I was done cutting weight. So my freshman year of college, I went 165. Next year, I was like, fuck that, 174, jumped up.
Damn.
The next year I said, also fuck that. I'm going 184. So I went 3 different weights and I compete and I was.
So you were smashing everybody and putting on 10 pounds a season.
Yeah, that was the goal. I actually wanted to go. So I went 184 my junior year and senior year. I wanted to jump to 197 because I wanted to say I placed at 4 different weights. But I didn't I wrestled some 97 pounders and like when they would sprawl and I had their leg, it would just like be too much for my shoulders.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me just tone it down a little bit. I'm already not that big for 184. Like I don't have to cut weight.
You just got really big, broad shoulders though.
Yeah.
So it helps.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And fucking long arms.
Yeah.
So I don't even cut weight for 185 to fight right now.
It's just where you just naturally lay.
Number one, 185 pounder.
I just won't eat as much in and out.
Yeah.
Calm back down a little bit. I'll lose a few pounds. Mm-hmm. Okay, and man, what do you think is your X factor? What do you think makes you such a fierce competitor? Where does that come from?
Ooh, yeah, it's gotta be where I go. It's gotta be what happens when I'm in deep waters. Like I see so many people fall off once they are in deep waters and exhausted and stuff. Like if anyone puts me there, I'm not done. Like trust me, I'm only 50% done type of thing. Like
got it.
If you push me to the edge, I'm from the edge. That's a favorite line.
How do you train for the edge though? How do you know how deep the water's gonna go until you've been that deep? Like it doesn't sound like anyone's ever drug you there, really.
Yeah, nobody. I do it.
Temporarily, they get you there, but you bring them back. So, how do you train for that? What is a typical day of training?
Every day, I try and get one workout in. Maybe I can get 2. More technical, the second one, but 3 times out of my week, I usually push to exhaustion in whatever workout I'm doing. If it's like fucking shadow boxing, I'm gonna push as hard as I can and just be prepped for like a 25-minute fight type of thing. You can't swing
anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm gonna hop on the dyno bike, the old school one.
Oh yeah.
Pushing. You know how much that gets your arms, bro. Yeah. I'll run like 40-second sprint on that, 20-second off, 40-second sprint, 20-second off for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
So it's just like, yeah, I visit the deep waters often.
So you're constantly prepping for a fight.
Yeah.
Even when you're not fighting.
And that's a lesson I've learned from like listening to the fighting community, like podcasts and shit. You got to be like, I'm ready. If someone wanted to call me and fight some guy at the UFC, like I'm down. Like I'm always going to be ready for a fight no matter what, because these UFC guys, like the way their contracts work, like they got to worry about the guys contracted first. They got to get fighter X his 3 fights for the year.
Yeah.
So the matchmaker got to worry about the contracted guys first. The only time this guy's getting pulled up, his getting his name card or name pulled, is when one of these guys falls out and it's like, fuck, I got to replace him. Yeah. So bro, I got to be on point no matter what.
Always.
No matter what, all the time.
Got it.
So that's how I look at it. And it doesn't flatter me to get like be a fat fuck like outside of a fight, you know? Like I don't think that's funny. I don't think that's cool. Like I think it's just weird. Like be a professional, you know?
Got it.
Like it's like Patty the Batty. Like he just gets so fat. I'm like, that's so gross, bro. You know?
I think he does it now for the attention.
Right?
I think it's become like a thing that people have attached to him now. He can, he's got a YouTube page. Shout out to Patty the Batty, no disrespect. He's out here in San Diego, so we love that fact. But yeah, for a fighter, I can't see a fighter living like that on a day-to-day basis. It's not healthy. And everybody knows that. I think he just does it because he wants to. I'm going to take a quick second. Right now, I tell you guys, every podcast, we drop a 50% coupon. Today's 50% coupon in honor of this man is Panam, Panam. That 50% coupon code will be good for the next 48 hours after this podcast drops. Everything on the site is 50% off if you use that coupon. Okay, back to you. So, so prepping for a fight, so did you do anything special for Panam? Like did you change anything for that? Because obviously you don't know who you're prepping for. So was that just, did you up your ante, so to speak, when you were training for that one?
My my favorite drill that we implemented was like an all-encompassing drill. We called it. Maybe we need to come up with a better name, but it's all-encompassing. It's like come out, visualize the hand touch, and then go from striking to a shot to a lift, return, look for a sub, finish. That was the strategy, in and out, because we have 3 fights, 3 days. I can't take damage. I can't be taking damage like that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's the all-encompassing drill. We got to come in, throw our favorite combos, land one, make our entry,
and then take
bada bing, bada boom. So that's what we actually started doing. We started doing that, and that's one of my favorite drills. Like, if I could end a fight like that every time, then I would. And I have I have a few different all-encompassing drills type of thing. Like, it's this to this entry and then to this sub, or my second entry, my second sub type of thing. So
your game plan is never is it start out up top, then take it down, always take it down? But you've got a lot of submissions. I mean, so do you utilize your wrestling to get yourself into a position for your jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I try and make them uncomfortable with the tight waist pressure that I have, or like I just try and make them uncomfortable with the pressure that I have in order for them to open up and maybe give me their back. Like, I just try and use my wrestling as a pressure. Like, once I get them down, I pretty much have them. Because in folk style wrestling, the goal is to lift and return and keep them on the mat. Their goal is to stand up. So I've always worked against people trying to get out. So I've done 8 years of training that. A lot of people have never done that, you know?
Yeah.
They're learning the basic stand up and then the basic hand break and the basic turnaround. Like, I've drilled for that 8 years ago. I started doing that 8 years ago. Yeah. So it's once I have my hands wrapped around your body, it's game over type of thing.
Okay. So, but you've got 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. So when did you find out you were gifted in striking?
Fuck, dude. I feel like I have 2 left hands when I'm in the room sometimes.
It doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I know. It's because I'm with some studs. Like, I'm with guys that are great strikers, and I'm just around wolves, and they show me my holes, and then I fix those holes, and then they show me more holes, and I fix those holes again. Lately, I've been trying to be a little more showy, just because that's what I want, and then that's what people want to see too. So I've just been focusing on the striking a little more since I realized this is going to be a career choice type of thing. You know, got to make it a career.
So you say you want to be UFC. I know you told me you are headed to do some training at the UFC center soon.
Yeah,
what's going on there?
So the IMMAF has a deal with UFC. The UFC is allowing the USA team to go train at the UFC Sports Institute in Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to be amongst the guys that I'll be fighting.
Have you been there before? It's going to be your first time. So do you take your whole camp with you? How does that work?
I know Chuck's going to be there.
Okay.
I haven't actually talked about, I don't think as far as the training, I don't think for this training camp, Vince is going to go.
Okay.
Or like my training partners, but
So who's doing the training then? I mean, is it just you're going to go learn from like UFC trainers?
Yes.
Wow.
I think UFC trainers and then various amount of the coaches of the guys on the team.
Okay.
Because I'm under Chuck, and then there's the 145 pounder under X. Yes.
Is that how Worlds works?
Yeah, the guys at
each
Pan
one in
Am's
each
qualified.
division.
Yeah.
So you're the 155 representative, or the 185 representative going for the United States. Oh, that's fucking sick.
So the USA team's there.
Okay, so we're
all getting together and gonna be a team.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So you're gonna learn from the best guys in all these weight classes that basically did what you did.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope. How long are you gonna be out there for?
4 days.
4 days.
A 4-day training camp.
And you go. When do you leave for that one?
November 4th.
Damn, so that's soon. That's coming up right, literally damn near next week, damn near. So that's awesome. Anything special you're doing for that one, or just kind of excited?
No, I imagine like these guys are gonna have they're teammates, but I feel like they also have like egos and shit. But I'm just going in there trying to get better.
Yeah.
I'm not competing against them, so.
And they're gonna. I'm sure that they're all good. You guys are all gonna do your homework on each other. So man, this guy's like 7-0. This guy, he ain't got no wrestler 2 times. Okay, all right. Yeah, but
they know what it is. They saw at the tournament.
They saw at the tournament, and not only that, but you know, your track record speaks for itself, right? I mean, if anybody Googles you, it's not hard to find. You know what I mean? So that's freaking awesome. What is your personal life like? Like, I know your mom, shout out to mom's mom, is a diehard. If you guys haven't met this man's mom, you guys are missing out. She is just the biggest ball of energy as him. She is all nerves before he goes into the ring, but she is by his side 100% of the time. He has a huge fan base at almost every fight that he's at. There's 50 plus people waiting for him. We can't get him for post-fight interviews until like 20 minutes after he's out of the ring. What is your personal life like when you're not training? Like, what do you do? What do you like to do? You said you don't play video games, so what do you do?
Sappy shit sometimes, dude. Yesterday was my 6 months with my girlfriend. Aww. So
congratulations.
It's my first. Thank you. It's my first girlfriend.
Wow.
Yes.
Just because you've been so involved in your athletic career?
Pretty much just been focused for so long.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So first real relationship. How is that going?
It's sweet, dude. I love having like a partner in crime. And
someone who really cares.
Someone who really cares. And just at the end of the day, having someone that I love like by my side whenever I need and whenever we need each other, like we'll always take care of each other. It's just cool, like having that, you know, having someone who has my back. How
does she deal with you fighting and your training? Does she train at all?
She doesn't train at all.
Okay.
We're on different like spectrums when it comes to that.
Okay.
She's like, she's being an influencer. She loves like fashion and shit. And
awesome.
Yeah. So I respect fashion too. Like I love that. And I love being creative and stuff. So I really respect what she does.
Okay.
And then vice versa. She loves the fighting. She, when I compare her reactions at my fights to like my family's been used to it.
Yeah.
She's in the video. She's like, oh my, like you're hearing her cuss. Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. Is that okay? Is that good? Is that bad?
She's learning.
Okay. Yeah. So she's definitely loving the ride too.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I think that you've got an amazing career so far. I think that you've done, based off of what I've learned about you and what I know about you and how you arise to, you know, adversity. Mm-hmm. I've always said that you've got the X factor, and that was before I knew that the first time I saw you was the first time you had ever been in a damn ring with someone else. I said it then, you know, this kid's got an X factor, and
thank you.
You still you continue to show that you are growing. You've got some of the best coaches in the game. You've got the determination, you've got the natural athletic ability. So it's really left to you to figure out, you know, where you want to land, you know. So what would be the perfect path for you right now, as far as moving out of amateurs and into your pro side? Do you want to stay in the Emmys a little longer, or are you ready to take the next plunge?
Oh, right after Worlds, I think that's going to be the best amateurs I'm going to face.
Okay. So
I'm done with amateurs after that tournament. Okay. It's jumping right into pro. Maybe fighting at Cage Warriors. It's right in our backyard.
Yeah.
Maybe 3
Shout
fights.
Shout out to Graham Boylan.
Yeah. Right in our backyard. Maybe get 3 fights. Go 3-0.
I think Harvey can make that happen. Mr. Castellano, we might have to call in a few shots from my man.
Please.
Yeah, I think we can make that happen. Again, you're energetic. You bring the energy. You've got all the accolades. I don't see why they wouldn't, right?
Right.
Shout out to Wild Bill, who just got a contract over there with them too, and is on. I think he's about to fight his 3rd fight.
Dude, I need to train with that guy. He's a stud.
Oh yeah, he is definitely. Shout out to Wild Bill. He is on the cover of our website, and so is Anthony. Anthony is there, punching the lights out of somebody, with a smile on his face, I might add. Why do you always have a smile on your face? Anytime I see you getting ready to go into a fight, in a fight, or, you know, just generally, you're a very happy person. Why is that? Why are you such a happy person?
I know I'm happy in the middle of fights because, like, I can be surprised by how athletic my abilities are in that. Like, if that makes sense, like, sometimes I'm so surprised at my reaction time, or I'm so surprised at how I handled that situation, because it's like you're always presented things that you might not expect. How can you handle it? Or like, have you prepared for that? Or like, I'll be happy because I had an answer for what he did, And that's just the most satisfying thing to be able to.
So you're literally, you're smiling at critiquing yourself while you're performing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
like, no other way.
He's like, damn, I did that well. I punched him right in the face. That was really nice.
I can't wait to
see that on film.
Times. Yes. Yeah. So I'm constantly able to surprise myself, like in fights where you're fighting against someone who's unpredictable type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's fucking awesome to be able to react the way you've drilled. And it's like, wow, okay, that was satisfying. So yeah.
Okay. And
as far as happy, I just like to be happy. I mean, being happy is, I don't know. Being happy is easy for me.
It is. It's a lot easier to smile than it is to frown. It's a scientific fact.
Right? Yeah. Don't you use more muscles in your face?
Exactly.
To frown or some shit?
Exactly.
It costs a lot of energy.
So you work now, and you're in accounting now, so you do that full time? How do you manage the work life and the training life?
So I'm actually going to start a new training style. Right now I do 9 to 4. Don't tell my job. I do 9 to 4 and go to practice at 4.
We're going to bleep that. Okay.
I'd shave off an hour, go to practice at 4, and then a second practice after that.
Okay.
What I'm thinking about doing is starting a little earlier, getting a practice in during lunch, and then another practice at 4.
And what do you think the benefit to that's going to be?
I think the 2 practices in a row, like I'm not there for that second practice.
Got it.
Like yesterday, I really was feeling
time to recuperate.
Yeah, there's no recovery, and like there's just too much strain on my body then.
Okay.
But like if I can go into this practice, then maybe like spend 30 minutes to digest what I learned, then go to get another practice fully, almost like ready to go, recovered fully, be fully there for that one, be present. Like that's way better to me. And maybe a third one. Khabib's the guy who was saying in an interview, 2 wasn't enough. Like 2 wasn't enough, brother. I needed to get 3. So,
I mean, if you've got it, you've got it. I'd walk 2 miles a day, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I'm good. I'm not doing anything.
That's good though.
I try to keep it limber.
We have so much on your plate. I mean, you're fucking juggling.
I do. I'm trying to promote you guys, trying to promote the business, make sure that everybody's got the correct safety gear when they're competing in these things. Yeah. That was one of my main focuses for getting into the sport, getting into the industry was looking at guys using equipment that they could barely find and having to borrow gloves from other guys, and I was like, that's when you go into UFC or you go into a major event, they're not using used gloves. Both guys get a fresh pair of gloves. One guy's gloves are not worn down because he's used them all in practice for 2 years, and this guy just bought his yesterday. He's got pillows, you've got bricks. You know what I mean? Like, it can become an unfair advantage. Nobody really thinks about it.
Yeah,
but it can become an unfair advantage. So that was something that I saw. And then the issue with eye pokes. Since we've implemented my gloves, we haven't had any eye pokes.
Nice.
So that
because they keep your fingers a little
slightly
curled.
Bent at a 45. Just when you're naturally resting, the standard gloves keep your hands out, and these keep your gloves resting here. So you have to flex to push them up into a full position. Which most cases, I mean, it happens. It's still going to happen, right? It's just part of the sport, but we try to reduce that as much as we can. So we are super happy that we've got, that line of things in, and we get to interact with people like you, it's really about you guys. It's just a bonus for me. I love being able to give you guys a platform to talk because, as we were saying before we sat down, there is no platform for you guys. You're an amazing athlete, and the chances of somebody finding out your backstory until maybe another year, 2 years from now, until you get on a professional stage, you're just in the dark. And I think that a lot of people need, especially you guys coming up in the sport, you guys have to support yourselves. There are no avenues for you guys to make money outside of that, and I think that maybe we can evolve the sport to the point where maybe, some of these guys, you guys are getting picked up like the rookies in some of these other sports, like baseball, and hey, look, we'll put you in the minors. I'll give you $50,000, to go train so you can focus on this, so we can get you ready for the next level. I want to see the sport evolve to that level. So I'm trying to do everything that I can to push that along. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Super. I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in, and that I have the support of all of you guys, because without you guys, I can't. There's nothing. I don't have anything without the fighters. So
what a vision though. Like, where did you how did you see those holds? Because that's a clear hold. Like when you were discussing the bricks, like were you tied closely to Epic?
Originally a friend had gotten me into the idea of starting a store to just buy gear. So because there's no place in San Diego to just go try on gloves, you've got to buy everything online or try and, and then you got to hope that it fits.
Yeah.
But this is safety gear, right? I'm kicking people with this stuff. I'm getting punched with this stuff. So I want to make sure it fits and it fits right. So we were thinking, hey, we should just go for the store line. And then as I started to identify okay, we can get gloves and stuff, but we're going to pay a premium. And then we started looking at the amateurs and I was like, we can sell gloves for the amateurs, but they don't have any. Why don't we make our own?
Yeah.
And eventually me and my partner ended up separating and I ended up going down that path. I was like, I'm going to really develop it. I had already established a lot of the groundwork for it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. And it's become like my second passion now. Like I live and breathe MMA all day. I was already a big MMA fan. I've always been involved in contact sports and I was a football player growing up. So I've been involved in contact sports, but I've always just loved the purity of MMA. It's two people locked in a damn cage. You've got a very small set of rules of what you can't do. And everything else is good to go. If you want to jump off the damn ring cage like fucking Anthony Pettis and do a spinning face kick to Ben Hindo's grill,
fabulous.
Great. One of the most epic highlights ever for MMA. Shout out Ben Hindo. I love him. I just watched him fight. That's allowed. There's no boxing can be tailored and you can cheat and there's ways to subvert things. And even with every other game, you've got referees in football games that if they call a play and guess what, it's pass interference when it wasn't, or he was out when he was, it's like now you've just changed the trajectory of the game and I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Even
though I did what I was supposed to, your call changed my trajectory.
Yeah.
In MMA, there's nothing to stop me from punching you, and most times if a person is dominating a fight, you can tell. They got him pinned on the ground. I was just watching the replay of, God, who was it? It was
recent
MVP. I was watching MVP's last fight that he had against Laurel Story or something. I forgot his name, but the guy was a wrestler. Mm-hmm. And MVP is a dynamic striker, right? Mm-hmm. Venom Page for Bellator. Michael Venom Page.
I was going to say Bellator, right?
Yeah, Michael Venom Page. Who's dynamic striking. He literally dribbling the basketball in the ring, punching guys in the face. But the wrestler immobilized his game plan and kept him on the ground. Mm-hmm. And even though he didn't sustain a lot of damage, he didn't take a lot of facial damage or bleeding, it was clear to see who won the fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't strike me, you can't score, right? So if I've got you on the ground and you can't get up, I'm winning. It's clear to see. I may not be punching you in the face and there may not be a lot of blood, but it's easy to call. So I love the purity of the sport for that reason. And that's why I've gone so far into it. And now with the interviews and the post-fight interviews, I feel like I'm giving you guys a chance to really embrace what you're doing. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of guys come up to me after the fights and be like, man, I've been waiting to talk to you for the last 2 fights. This was my goal, was to just make it to the post-fight interviews because I want to talk my shit. I've been training.
Sick.
I've been punching dudes. You know what I'm saying? I get my time to shine now. Give my shout outs to my coaches. Really say where I'm from. And with the podcast, we felt like that was the next step of the game. I
was going to say, what a huge step then for the podcast.
Yeah, and because we get to know you, right? Uh-huh. You really get to see what's driving this person and their motivation. You have a lot of followers. You're building. Obviously, the girls get crazy followers just because they're girls, but to see a amateur fighter get followers, those are genuine people who are interested in your career. We want to expose that, right? I want to put out everywhere, this is the number one dude in California, and you should know his name because he is going to be coming through the ranks. You know what I mean? So we have the ability to do it, and it's just time and effort, and I feel like it's good time and it's good effort. So I appreciate you guys taking the time out to come help me build this thing. Really, it's just as much of a rush for me as it is for you guys. You know what I mean? So
thank you
anybody,
so much.
Thank you. You're welcome, and thank you.
That's
awesome. Is there anybody that you want to give shots out to before we end? Anybody you want to give some recognition to?
Dude, my circle is so tightly knit. I love everybody knows who they are, but Mom, thank you so much for the hard work and dedication that you've always taught me, the support that you've always given me. I usually get sappy like around your birthday and stuff, but yeah, you deserve a lot of credit. You deserve the most credit in the world. Dad, thank you so much for teaching me like hard work and always looking out for me. Always making sure that I was crossing my T's and dotting my I's. All my best friends, thank you guys so much. The support's been unwavering since I started this thing. I got a text today from one of my best friends saying happy 1 year for the epic thing.
Oh yeah.
Actually reminded me.
1 year.
1 year.
1
MMA
year.
career has been 1 year long.
7-0, 1 year.
Yeah. Best friends, thank you so much. Idris has helped me so much. Payne, Sierra, shouts out to you guys. And then my girlfriend, Gia Papel, love you so much. You've been so supportive ever since I've met you, and you've been 10 toes deep with me, my little partner in crime. Thank you. And you, bro. By the way, I've been using your gear bag and your the rash guard and the shorts.
Good.
They're my favorite thing.
Good. I'm glad. I'll get you some more.
That bag is so sick. I used it in Mexico.
Ah, yes, it's traveled. My bag. We've been to Mexico.
You've been international.
We have been international.
You've been international.
Well, I'm glad that I had my gear on the back of the Panam Champion, so that makes me happy to know that.
And then I did see that interview I saw that interview with the guy who fights out of John Brumley. Mm-hmm. I remember him telling you he's been waiting to get that.
Yeah, that was a heartfelt moment for me as well.
And when you were saying that and you recited that, I was like, wait, yeah, like your work is so powerful and you're putting so much work in for us, and I didn't even realize, didn't even realize it. So I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I again, it's all for you guys, and we want to grow with you guys. I want to do this again when you're on the other side. Bro. You know what I mean? I will come to wherever you are, and we will sit down and we will talk about, and we'll show clips of this video in that video, and we'll talk about how we had this moment and we talked about the future. So that being said, going out on the last note, what is your overall goal for the sport? What do you want to see? What do you want to see for yourself when it's all said and done?
I just want to be the best MMA fighter I can be. I want to be able to sit down some of the best MMA fighters. I just want to be in that talk of the best MMA fighters that we've seen. I think that's a solid goal, and every day I'm trying to get better. Every day. I just want to be the best fighter I can be.
I think you have done that.
Yeah.
I think if you were to stop fighting at this point, you have achieved some milestones in your career that some people will never achieve. And you have overcome some major adversities in a pool of talent that is unmatched. And if you continue on this trajectory, bro, I think there is no limits to where you will end up. So that being said, you guys, this is episode 4, Luxury and Mayhem. Anthony Orozco, one more thing. Why don't we have a fight name for you?
I don't know. I don't know what to call myself besides Costco Orozco. Get these hands in bulk. No, I'm just kidding.
I like it. Hey,
I asked some kid.
Costco Orozco. It might work. So, okay. So in the comments, we've got Costco Orozco. I wanted to throw my hat in the ring because the name kind of sounds like Oz. So I wanted to say Anthony the Wiz Orozco because you're a whiz at the craft and you're almost like a little wizard too at the same time. So it's got a double play on words. You got that magic, right?
I love it.
All right. So we want to see which one you guys think is better. Are we going to go with Costco Orozco, or are we going to go with Anthony the Wiz Orozco? Let us know. We appreciate you guys coming out. Episode 4, Luxury and Mayhem. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, good talking to you.